Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, instead of a, this looks so crooked to me. Is it crooked? Instead of a vlog, I thought it would be fun to sit down and just do a Q&A. I'm freaking tired. It's the end of the week. And you know, we've just got that like end of the week feeling going on here. And I'm hanging out with Theo. Hugo is at school. We need to go pick him up in about a half hour. Theodore is gonna make it his mission to grab the camera. I think it's in a safe spot. I think it should be fine. But I asked over on my Instagram for some questions. So grab yourself a snack or a drink and let's just hang. Let's hang. Go treat this like a podcast. Let's get into these questions. Oh, his little fingies are so close. Let me move this over just like that. He's getting so big, guys. I can't. The first question, how did you wean off pumping? I'm 6 months postpartum, 3 pumps per day, and trying to stop. What I did to wean off pumping was, well, first we started supplementing with formula. So I wasn't breastfeeding as much and I wasn't pumping as much, which makes weaning 10 times easier. Maybe not 10 times easier, but makes weaning a whole lot easier because I just wasn't producing as much. I didn't have to like wean off that much. But what I specifically remember doing with both the boys was like almost cold turkey, was pumping once in the morning, like a short pump, maybe 5-10 minutes, and then not pumping or nursing at all throughout the day. Which again, for me was pretty easy because we were supplementing with formula and I wasn't directly nursing the boys. Then at night, doing 1 pump again for like maybe 10 minutes, if that, and then not pumping it all through the night. That was the biggest thing, was not pumping throughout the night. By the way, I look like a Skittle today. A purple Skittle. Not pumping throughout the night was a big thing because that was when I produced the most milk. And for me, I feel like that was the notice to my body that like, I was done. I also have purple nails. Can you even with this whole like purple getup I have? But yeah, so I would say, I mean, everyone's body is different and my capacity for breast milk has always been really low. And so weaning, I've never had to like really worry about mastitis. I did have a few clogged ducts this time with Theodore, but it was like, that wasn't like a huge concern. If you tend to get mastitis or clogged ducts quite easily, then I would carefully wean and maybe not go as like cold turkey as I did. But that was kind of just was like ripping the band-aid off, was just pumping once in the morning, once at night, and then trying to stretch out that time in between pumps as much as possible. Next question, current jams. This is an awesome question. I mean, listen, I'm gonna show you, I'll show you the like current recently searched in my phone, so you can see what has been going on here, folks. So, first up, we have the Disney Halloween playlist on Apple Music. That is actually really fun. If you have kids, it's a good time. And then we have the Cleanup Song by Barney, just like a big hit in this house. I was listening to Game of Thrones, the Game of Thrones playlist the other day, because I'm a freaking nerd. And then Paw Patrol. Lots of Paw Patrol, Jake and the Neverland Pirates, Disney Parks Collection, which is a really nice playlist I would highly recommend. So yeah, you know, those are the current jams. I honestly, I really don't listen to a lot of music. I don't listen to a lot of music that is not like music for the kids. Oh yeah, fell right over. But yeah, we've been getting in the Halloween spirit with some Halloween playlists. Next question, when are you planning to have another baby? When are we planning on having another baby? So the planning is, oh my gosh, still with the postpartum hair loss. The planning, I mean, the planning is happening. The planning is happening right now. There's always planning. We're always planning with the kids. In terms of like when exactly are we going to start trying? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if Jeff came home today and was like, let's try this month, then I would be like, awesome, let's do it. But there are like a few things that we are just trying to figure out before then. So I don't think it's gonna be, I'm not sure. I'm thinking like next year would be a great, that's what I'm planning. I'm planning next year for our next little one because I'm turning 34 next year. And like this body is tired. And I don't know how much longer she has in her to like do the pregnancy baby thing. So sooner rather than later is my answer to that. How do you feel like your marriage has changed through 0 to 1 kid and then 1 to 2 kids? That's such a great question. I feel like it's grown stronger. Whoosh. Thank God, right? I think it could go either way, right? When you have kids, having kids is such a mind F, and it's so hard. It's so hard. And it can really like, it rips your relationship right open. So if things are not gonna work, then they're not gonna work, you know? And luckily, I think we've adjusted really well, and we're like this little fun family unit. So how do I feel like my marriage changed 0 to 1? I think it showed me, at least I can only talk for myself, right? Like it showed me how much Jeff could be there for me and could be there for Hugo. And especially in those first few months where I was postpartum and recovering from the 4th degree tear and the rectal tear, I was going through such a hard time, and with Hugo not sleeping, like it was so hard, and he was there for me every step of the way. And I remember specifically after both babies were born, just like how hands-on he was and how helpful he was. And that was so, like, I was so impressed by that and so happy. And it's very, like, especially going from 1 to 2 kids, like any time that you used to have to yourself kind of gets taken away, and you have to figure out, it's just a lot of coordinating. And I imagine that like that only continues with the more kids you have. And so I've been luckily pleasantly surprised at how well Jeff and I have been able to coordinate with each other, so that we both feel like we're getting the time that we want to ourselves, and like the time to get to do things with 2 kids, because that's really hard. So, you know, for instance, in the mornings, because our kids wake up so freaking early, I will get up with them one morning, and then the next day Jeff gets up with them, and then so like it's a give and take. And so that's really like, if we didn't have kids, we wouldn't need to do that, right? Like we could sleep in as long as we wanted and like we get to do our own thing. And so it's been really nice that like with the kids and with life changing so much, like we're both very much on the same page with that type of stuff. Tips for solo days with 2 kids. Hubby's paternity is up soon and I'm nervous. Yeah, it's when you're home by yourself with 2 kids, it's very overwhelming. My biggest tip is to have some sort of routine. It doesn't mean you have to do the exact same thing every day. You can change things up certain days, but for me, even with 1 kid, baby, toddler, having a routine brings a structure to the day. And it's so helpful in knowing when you can anticipate things. Okay, I have an hour before nap time. What can we do for an hour? Cutting down the time makes the day itself so much more manageable. So, you know, Hugo doesn't have school on Wednesdays, and Wednesdays can feel like kind of a daunting day. What do we do for this whole day? So I just break it up by time. Like, okay, well, I know that Theodore has a nap from, you know, usually 7 to 8. So during Theodore's nap time, I can play with Hugo. And then, you know, from 9 to 11:30, that's playtime. And then 11:30 is both the boys' nap times. And like, so just trying to chop the day up into some sort of routine is going to help immensely. So don't put the pressure on yourself to like do everything and be everywhere. Like I always put that pressure on myself, and like you see people on Instagram and like, well, I should be taking my kids to the farm, or I should take my kids to the playground, or I should be doing something, I should take them to the museum. And when you're by yourself with your kids, by yourself, it is so difficult to take 2 small children anywhere. So like, don't even put that on yourself. If one day you get to go to the farm, great. But my biggest advice is have that schedule, have that routine in your day, and anything outside of that is great. Next question is, how is Hugo's speech coming along? From what I can tell, he's doing so good. He's doing really well. So he is in speech therapy. He sees his speech therapist, I want to say 3 times a week, and He sees a speech therapist at school, and during the summer I took him to a speech group, and it's going so well. There are still certain things that we're working on. We're still working on like word completion, so making sure that we're saying the entire word, and if the word is, I don't know, banana, not just stopping at banan, not just leaving the ends of words off, and just articulation. But he has come so incredibly far, and we are so proud of him. I think just being in school, being around other kids has helped immensely, and I'm giving him so much credit because he is in school with a mask on. So for a child with a speech delay to be in school with a mask on, surrounded by other kids who for the most part have masks on, and teachers who have masks on, like, and to be excelling with speech, I think is just like so mind-blowing to me. So he's doing so incredibly well. Next question is 0 to 1 or 1 to 2, an easier transition for you? So in terms of easier, I think I would say overall 1 to 2 was easier because, you know, you're already in it. You're already hip deep, knee deep. You're already in the chaos, right? Like you kind of already know what to expect. Well, at least that's how I felt. And I'm a type of person, like, I do something for the first time and I am terrified. It doesn't even matter what it is. It could be the easiest thing in the world and I'm still like so anxious about it. Then after I've done something once, I'm like, oh, I got this, I'm a pro. And so I felt very confident. I mean, if you go and watch any of the like birth vlogs or like the vlogs right after Theodore was born, I was on cloud 9 because I was like, I got this. I know like what to expect. I feel very confident in having a baby and having a newborn. I just felt great. So in that regard, going from 1 to 2 was like easy peasy. Definitely easier than like going from 0 to 1. That was like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like I am just so overwhelmed. But that being said, like 1 to 2 is still hard. And especially now where this sort of age is like, Hugo is 3.5, Theo is almost 1, and like it's just finding the balance like in this new life, finding the balance to do anything and get anything done. So yeah, I would definitely say easier was 1 to 2. Next question, what age did Theo start crawling? It says what the rough routine like. I don't know if she meant what was the night routine like. Well, I'll answer, what age was Theo when he started crawling? You know, I don't even remember. I want to say maybe, how old is he now? He's almost 11 months. I think maybe 8 months he was crawling. Honestly, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm so bad. I think he's been crawling for like 4 months. So I want to say like 7, 8 months he started crawling. Do you ever get depressed from being a stay-at-home mom? I would say I have moments where I am bored. Being a stay-at-home mom, like a lot of people think it's all fun and games, but it can get really boring, and I think that can make you feel depressed. And I think especially like I don't have many, if any, mom friends. And I think if you do have mom friends and you get together with your mom friends during the week, I think then you probably don't, or I don't know, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I would think that like I've had moments where I'm like, if I had a friend and I could get together with that friend and we like our kids could play and we could just like hang out even just once a week, like that would make, mentally I think that would make everything feel so much easier. And like to connect with another person, to connect with another mom over things, for the boys to get to play with someone, like that would be so great. But yeah, I don't have any freaking mom friends in person, and that is depressing to me. Like that's when I'm like, oh, like it's so then easy to get in my head. So yes, I would say yeah, there are moments where I feel, I don't know if I would say depressed over being a stay-at-home mom, because this is like, I do love being a stay-at-home mom and I love being home with them, but I will say like it does, I get sad sometimes that like I don't have friends, and like, you know, it's the same thing every day. So I feel, yeah, it if you're feeling that way, my DMs and my Instagram are always open. And the next question, the last question, is favorite Christmas gift you've received as a child or adult / adult. That's such a good question. I want to say my favorite Christmas gifts have been my boys, but I guess they're not like technically Christmas presents. I think when I was younger, I don't know, I can't remember anything from like my actual childhood, like receiving gifts from my actual childhood. I just remember loving Christmas. Like Christmas was the best and I loved it so much, just the entire thing. And then as I got older, I always loved getting books for Christmas. Like I loved books and reading. If you like look, we have so many books. And there was something like books I received for Christmas just seemed so much more magical than just like getting a book normally. There was something like it seemed like a different, unearthly. Like I received like this, like, oh my gosh, this book I received for Christmas. And I'm talking like when I was like 18. We're not talking when I was like 11. It felt so special. Books you get on Christmas just feel so special to me. So I would say books as an adult, like getting really special books. When Jeff got me the Game of Thrones series DVD set, that was really special. My camera's gonna die. Oh, and it's like so blown out. Then yeah, as a kid, hard for me to remember. I'm gonna go with the books. Just books. I just love books for Christmas. I'll like later today think of something that I got for Christmas and I have to come back and let y'all know. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on TikTok and Instagram, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.